Hello my friends, welcome back to part 2. We are going to finish up our lake painting that we started yesterday. And got the same colors that we used yesterday. Titanium white, phthalo blue, Prussian blue, alizarin crimson, mountain mix, Van Dyke brown, dark sienna, sap green, cad yellow, yellow ochre, Indian yellow, the evil bright red. And with that said, I'm going to grab us a 2-inch brush and jump right in. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to load the 2-inch brush basically the same way we were loading that 1-inch brush if you watched that video. If not, go back and watch it. It gets us to this point. We're going to load it with some dark colors. Our Van Dyke brown, our dark sienna. We'll even grab a little of this mountain mix. Maybe even a little of the sap green. Just a bunch of dark colors here. And then we're going to take that rounded edge again. We're going to go right up to the canvas and we're going to start about here in that cloud. And we're just going to start making us a big tree. Yeah, I know. We're covering up our little trees. But we know they're there and we know how we made them. Alright, let's get us a little more color. Anytime you go to having to push real hard with your brush when you're painting, like if you're getting low on paint, just stop right there and go back to your canvas or your palette and pick you up some more paint, because I mean that's what it's there for. You know, it's there to paint with. All right, we just bring that land on down through here. We'll pick us up a little more paint here. Just staying with our dark colors. That's all we're doing. Just using these dark colors. Okay. And I thought what we'd do is right through here is since we got this land running down like that, we could put us a little path that maybe runs back here and runs down and just kind of gives us a way to get back in there if we want to go fishing or something back in here behind this tree. And in order to do that, we just pick up that same dark color we were using, Van Dyke brown and dark sienna. Just pull it out flat and get you a little roll of paint. Now, whenever you're doing a path or a road or anything like that, if you're bringing it towards you, it's always going to be thinner. Like back in here, it'll start out kind of thin, and as it comes down toward the end of the canvas, it's going to get wider. The further you go down, the further you get back to you, it's going to get wider. So keep that in mind. And all we're doing is just bringing this dark color in. Now that we got that, you got pretty much the start of some dark color here. You can pick you up a 1-inch brush and bring that color on down. Just brush it in and just make sure your path is a little wider at the bottom than it is at the top. Just like that, your path goes around. and comes down. And just don't forget to make your path wider as you get closer to the end of your canvas, towards your foreground. And then from there you can take you a little bit of your white, and you can mix you up a titanium white color. We can throw a little blue in it, throw a little brown in it, and that brown will kind of dull it down some. So you don't want to put a lot of brown in it. And the reason for that, the color you're basically going for here is just a kind of like a grayish blue stone color. That's going to be a little lighter than the color we used here. And that's going to be our highlight color that we put on it. And we'll do that highlight color a lot like if you're doing snow on a mountain. And you just don't want to, the thing is, let's add a little bit of red in that too. Just a very little red. You just don't want to mix the colors too much. You want to kind of leave it kind of marbled to where it kind of gives you that rock effect. But you want to start at the top up here and just like putting snow on a mountain, just barely graze that canvas with it. Just barely graze the canvas. Just let the paint that's down pull off what it wants. And just like that, just covering your dark color. Just like putting snow on a mountain. Just let it break. And that'll give you the effect of a little rocky path through here that is leading you back into a fishing spot back in here. And I know it don't look that way right now, but by the time we get all our highlights on our bushes and all, you'll see how it kind of forms up and takes shape. But just make sure you keep it narrow on that end and let it get wider as you come down. And if you once you get here with it, if you don't really like the way it looks, you can take your little yellow ochre and add in here. Just something to kind of spruce it up a little. Give it that, just to give it that look. And then once you get that done, you can clean off your knife. Once you get that done, you can take your 2-inch brush again and go back into your dark colors again. Now this time when you come up and go to pushing on the canvas, you want to keep in mind that you have that road here. So just kind of push your bushes to where they cover just a little bit of the road. And that'll really show up when we start to do the highlights. It'll look a whole lot better then. But just like that. And that'll help set those bushes or help set that path down into the painting. And I know you're thinking, oh Lord, what has he went and done? Because, I mean, you got to be thinking that, because that's what I'm thinking right now. Oh, no, actually, it hadn't got away from us yet. We still in control. And then we'll come over here and we'll fill this area in with some color. The same way, just pushing up with this brush. And I know it don't look it now, but when we get done, all of this it'll all be bushes. And they'll look better. But you still want to use that same pushing up technique, because it gives you that texture. And that texture is really what you're going for here. Because as long as you got that texture, you can work with it. But just like that, you got it closed in. And we will drop that brush into the cleaner. And now we will pick us up a clean. Well, we can use this 1-inch brush. It's got the color on it already. All right, for this tall tree up here that we made, we'll go ahead and set it apart from everything. We'll go ahead and we'll give it a trunk. We'll bring it down like so. Out here by the road. We'll give it a little limb here and there. Just something to give it a little life. Make him a happy tree. Now we'll take our 1-inch brush and just barely put it in the thinner. Just enough to wet the bristles a little bit. And we'll bring that right into our yellow. We'll tap it right on the brush. And we'll start up here, just like we were doing yesterday. Just touch and lift off. Just touch and lift off. And what this is going to do is it's just going to give us the highlights, just like we were doing yesterday. And we want them to, we don't want to kill all our darks, but we want to maintain our tree shape. Just like we did yesterday. And you can still coordinate with all those colors that we used yesterday, because everything is still wet. Everything is still just like it was. And the further you go down, it's going to go to picking up that dark color. And as it picks up that dark color, it's just going to disappear into the shadows. Just like that. And then when you get down closer and you want to go to highlighting the bushes down close to your trail, just come in. Come right down to your trail. Just like so. Just being careful not to kill all the darks. And I know you really got to get sick of hearing that, but I mean it's true. You've got to maintain those darks. That's the whole secret to giving a painting depth and making it look the way you want it to look. It has to have that darkness at the base of your bushes and your trees. But just keep coordinating back and forth using those same colors. Every once in a while, if you see a color that's trying to take on too much of a fall effect and you want to change it up, just go up and get you some white and bring that white down and mix it in with the color. Because all it's going to be is just a brighter color that we've already used. Like this color here with the white in it. It just looks like a brighter yellow. And that will give it that spring effect to it. You can even use blue in the spring colors, because you have blue flowers that, I don't know how good it'll show up against that blue water, but once it gets in that dark, it'll show up fairly well. And you can see how good that looks. To me, it's just pretty. And then you can get you some of the alizarin crimson. You can bring it down and mix it in. You can take a little white and put with that alizarin crimson. And it'll give you if you mix it with that blue, it'll give you a lavender color. You can take that lavender color and bring it up. Well, that actually maintained more of a pink. And that's real pretty. Look at that. It's got just a hint of lavender in it, but just enough that that turned out really pretty. I like that. We'll do that again. We'll take us some more of that alizarin crimson and a little of this white, and we'll put us in some more pink. Now, when we do the highlights here along our trail, we want them to stand straight up. We don't want to do them at an angle. We want them to stand straight up, because if we keep them standing straight up, that's going to give our trail a direction, like this. Boy, that pink is just wow. Look how it just stands out. Now, when you bring that up, you don't want to cover the entire trail. Just enough of it to oh, that red popped. Just wow. But just keep them in an upright, straight position, and the further we go up, they're going to start getting a little shorter, because we're going to bring some more in behind them, and we may even put a dead one like what we did up here. We'll see what it looks like when we get that far. But right now, let's just concentrate on keeping these right here as straight as possible. Keep them, without killing all your dark color. And that's all we're doing right now, is just bouncing around, mixing colors, getting different colors. And leaving a little dark in between the bushes, so you can see that depth in them. Now our pink's trying to fade away on us. I hate that. All right, well, let's put us another blue one up here. I like the way that blue one turned out. We'll take us a little of this blue. We'll come right here. Oh yeah, that's real pretty. Look at that one. Wow. Blue is a color that a lot of people don't use when they start doing flowers and stuff. But I mean, think about it. In the wild, you see it. You see it all the time. We have a hydrangea bush that puts on blue flowers every year, and that thing is gorgeous. And we'll go from the blue back into the alizarin crimson. Get a little more of that. See if we can end up with a lavender color here. And we'll take it and put us one in. That's kind of a lavender color. Maybe put a little more crimson in it to get it. I think my paint is starting to, yeah, we're going to have to add just a little more thinner. Whenever it goes to not coming off that brush the way you want it to, thin it down a little with some more thinner, or if you have to, you know, get you some liquid white. Because liquid white will mix with your colors, and it'll give you a brighter color when that white mixes with it. Let's do this. I'm not real crazy about that color. That's kind of I don't know if that's showing up on camera or not, but I'm not crazy about that color. We won't do it again. We'll go back to our red. Let that red take over that. That turned out like a gray blue. I'm just not real crazy about that. We'll come back here and let that red. One thing I'll say about that evil old bright red, it will take over some colors. And I explained in one of my videos why I refer to it as evil. And it's because one night, if you didn't see that video, one night I had a whole tube of bright red bust in my hand. And I didn't really realize it at the time, but when it did, oh my goodness, there was red paint everywhere. And when I first did notice it, I thought I was bleeding. It kind of scared me for a minute. And I thought, wow, what happened? But that's all it was the paint. The paint had busted, and luckily, that's all it was. It took me forever. I mean, literally forever to get all of it cleaned up. I didn't think I was ever gonna get it all clean, but I eventually got it, and well, it was a mess. And ever since then, I've just kind of referred to the bright red as evil. And I really can't say it was evil. I mean, it didn't, it wasn't its fault that I wasn't paying attention. Alright, well, stick us a little more white in here to get us another bright color to kind of come in here and put us one down here at the bottom. Yeah, that turned out pretty. Let's see what would be another pretty color. I might have to work on my pink one right there. That just kind of broke my heart. I'll tell you what, I'll do that now. I ain't happy with that. even if I have to change the color. Alright, let's see what we end up with here. It's still pink. Alright, let me put out a little more white. I may have to put out a little more cad yellow. But what we want is we just want some vibrant colors, something springy looking that, you know, kind of makes you feel good when you look at it. Just something real pleasing to the eye, but nothing that'll be just overbearing. We'll keep our colors subtle, but all right, let's try this. Oh yeah, that woke it up. Yeah, there we go. Now all I did right there was I added a little more white to that pink, and that just kind of woke it up. Yep, I like that. That turned out good. Alright, let's take some of this Indian yellow, because Indian yellow and white make a beautiful sunshine color. And it just, to me, it's so pretty when they're together. We'll come in under this one and we'll pop us in a pretty little bush with it. Make it look. I love that color right there. It's just so pretty. Alright, I'm going to put us out a little more of the cad yellow while we're doing this. I see another color I have to work on too. This one right here is just annoying the crap out of me. Alright, we'll go into some yellow this time. It's just real important when you're using this many colors. It's real important that you don't kill all your dark. There you go, saying that again. But it's true. I can't say it enough. All right, let's work on that color right quick. I'm gonna make me a lavender color. I'm gonna use some phthalo blue and some of this red, and I will make me, alright, some of this alizarin crimson up here. I will make me a lavender color. About like that. That's a good dark purple color. And then I'll take some of it and I'll put it right here, and I will take some white, mix into it, and get me a light lavender, about like so. I'll clean off my knife. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll even pick me up a clean 1-inch brush for this one color right here, and I'll go and tap into it. Oh wow, yeah, that's the ticket right there. That turned that lavender. Now that's pretty. That's a pretty color. That's so pretty. I gotta have another one of them. Matter of fact, we'll close the canvas off with this one. We'll put just a little more white in it to make it really zing. Oh yeah, that's real pretty. Now see, that color's different. It's something you don't see in every painting, but it's not really overpowering. It's a subtle kind of lavender color that just kind of hangs out. But I think it turned out really well. I think it's real pretty. And then you can see your path still coming down. And what we just done was we set that path down into the painting. Now with that brush we was just using with that lavender on it, we're gonna go into our mountain mixture and get some dark color back on it. Back on our brush. We'll go into our browns. We can go into our green. You can pick up a little of the Prussian blue. Just anything dark you can find right now. Because we want to come over here on this side. You can still see this side. All right, that may help a little. Okay, we come up here, and with the round side up, we're just gonna come in here and push us in a little tree, another tree shape, just like we did a minute ago. Just come in with another little tree shape, and with this tree, we just wanna bring it around at an angle here, and just tap us in some bushes, about like so. Just carry them off the canvas, and then pull you down a reflection. Make this tree, your reflection here is going to be a little taller because you got a taller tree. Just make sure you pull it straight down. And then very gently go across. Take your knife, go into some of the Van Dyke brown color. Come in here and pull you out a little bank. About like so. And then to highlight that, we'll use that same color that we used to highlight our path with a minute ago. Just don't want to mix it up too much. Don't want it, just want to leave it kind of marbled. Pick that little roll up and just come up and just barely touch. Just barely touch to give it that rocky look. Just like so. Then we'll take us some white on our knife, and we'll come up here and we'll put us in a water line. just like so. We'll go back, get our highlighting brush. Well, let's put a little trunk in that tree, just a little one. It don't need much, but just to make it look more like a tree, we'll put a trunk in it. It'll probably get covered up, but I mean, just in case it shows, we know it's there. It don't have to be nothing real fancy, just a little small trunk. Then we'll go right into our yellow. Pick up a little of the green. This yellow has got so many colors in it right now. And we'll come up and we'll start highlighting that little tree. Just like so. And remember, if it's not showing up the way you want it, just go and pick up some white and lighten that color down some, and come back and go over it, and that white will make it stand out. You just want to be extra careful and not kill all the dark when you're highlighting, because highlighting can get so much fun that you'll forget all about that dark, and the next thing you know, you got one tree that's all the same color. There's no difference in it at all. About like that's all you need. And we'll drop that one into the cleaner. Oh, we got that lavender already on here. So with that being said, let's make our first bush one of the little lavender bushes. I may have to start using that color a little more in my paintings. I'm glad y'all was, whoever's watching, I'm glad y'all was with me tonight when we discovered this, because it really works out. I think it's a beautiful color for a fall type painting. And we'll bring it all the way down. And we'll put a little of it in the water. And we'll come out on the tip out here. Make it a little more out here on the edge. Then we'll go back into our yellow again. Just like so. And we'll bring that color down into the water. And we'll close it off back in the back with a little of the white and the Indian yellow. About like so. And then we got to have that yellow and green to put in the water. out through here for our tree. About like so. That's all we need for reflections. And we'll grab us a clean 2-inch brush and very, very, very gently come up and pull these colors down straight. Straight down. Straight down. And then very gently go across. Very gently. And then right here, these colors they're not wanting to do right, so we'll work with them just a little, just to make them stand out. Right here, just like that. We have reflections. Now that took our water line away from us, so we'll go back and we'll get us some more white. We'll have to make that water line again, which that's not a big deal. We just come right up here. Okay, that ain't, something ain't happening here. That paint didn't want to come off for some reason. Alright. Now we have our water line. We can come out into our water here just a little, and put us in some ripples. Just some little water lines here and there. Kind of bring some life into it. But now, just like that, I would say this painting is ready for a signature and a frame. To me, it looks like it turned out pretty good. Oh, let's see. Let's sign this one we'll sign it with the phthalo blue. Since we got blue down here in that water, we'll just come right over here in the water and we'll put us a little darker H here. Just like so. And I want to thank y'all so much again for joining me. I hope y'all like this. I hope you learned something. I know I said we was going to put in a couple dead trees. And I will come in and put in some sticks and twigs. If in the future you're watching one of my videos, or if you're watching this video even, if there's something you'd like to see me add in a painting, just tell me. And if it's within my abilities, I'd be more than glad to do it. Like I said, the reason I do this is because I enjoy it, and it's just fun for me to. It gives me something to do. It keeps me from being bored all the time, and it's just I love painting. Hopefully, before too long, I can figure out how to do these Zoom paintings to where I can go live and have people actually painting along with me while I'm painting. And to me, that would be awesome. I mean, that would be just a world of fun. Because painting by yourself is fun, but painting with somebody else, where you can laugh and kid and joke around while you're painting, that to me, that's just an awesome feeling. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. The colors are kind of springy. They're not winter by no means. And believe me, I am fed up with this winter. I'm trying to think if I forgot anything. If you're not already a subscriber, consider subscribing. And I know you get sick of hearing that. Everybody wants you to subscribe. But when I started this channel, I didn't know about YouTube's algorithm. How you had to have a certain amount of subscribers before they would put you in the algorithm to get your videos seen. I'm learning a lot about YouTube. I'm learning a lot about videoing. I got a lot left to learn. But I like learning stuff new. And being a country boy that, I'm just not too much on all this techie stuff. Being an older man, being an older man like I am, I got a lot to learn about it. But hey, I'm not too old to learn. Might be too hard-headed sometimes, but I'm not too old to learn. And with that said, I love you guys. God loves you more. I want to thank y'all again for joining me. And please comment, like I said, I don't know what's on your mind unless you comment. And that's sad that you got to do it in a text like that, on a social media platform, but it is what it is, and that's the only way I know what's on your mind is by you saying, "Hey, Harold, could you do a such and such? Hey, Harold, could you maybe put this in next time?" Or, and I'd be more than glad to do it. I mean, I really would. Because, like I said, mingling with folks, it's where it's fun to me. I could ramble on all night. I'm not going to keep y'all anymore. Guys, thank y'all so much. I couldn't do any of this without you. Have a blessed night.